Thank you for taking 5 minutes of your time to consider the services of my firm. It's an interesting project that my staff in suburbs of Philadelphia are working on. The business is the business of growing the rehab side of various types of contracting firms. We find ways to increase your profit margins. Some people don't want to increase sales, they just want to increase profit. Other companies hire us to increase sales and profit. But the business is really about margins and profit and commercial rehab work. I have a very unusual background in how I ended up at this business. I, many years ago, owned a real estate company with about a staff of about 25 people. And along in the late 70s, when mortgage rates hit 22%, I needed to diversify from real estate. And since I had very strong marketing credentials and had a lot of success in marketing, I went into the marketing of family-owned companies and the evaluation of those companies. And I sold companies from $500,000 to about $2 million in sale price and enjoyed it a great deal for about 10 years. And then this terrible tragedy happened. I ended up with 3 members of my immediate family all sick at the same time, all terminally ill at the same time. My dear father, who was a country doctor, had heart disease. My wife's mother had lymphoma, and my young wife had bone cancer. And so after 3 years of tragedy, I buried my business brokerage business and was in terrible shape. And a contractor friend of mine came along, and I had, while as a business broker, had sold his company. And he came along and he tried to help me get back on my feet. And he wanted to help me financially. And I said, well, you know, it's great, Bob, that you want to help me financially, but I really want to earn my keep. And I appreciate it a great deal, but, you know, what I do is marketing. And he said, well, I have tons of business, Dave, but there is certain types of business which would increase my profit, which is basically commercial rehab work. So the obvious question was, how do I get this company commercial rehab work? Well, we set up a system. Actually, it was and ended up with 4 services. And once the system was in place, it dramatically increased the profitability of his business. Not necessarily the size. I think the size of business stayed almost the same, but the profit really went up because he found privately quoted work, not GC work, not public bid work, and he found it close to home, which meant he could very efficiently manage the work. Let me give you some idea of what these services are. They're made up of excellent data, put together a database that's really outstanding. To the best of my knowledge, it's the finest database of its kind in the United States. We look for sources of data from almost any place you can think of. Tax assessors, insurance commissions, list brokers, trade associations, just anything that works. Number 2 is letter writing. You know, so I didn't say junk mail, I said writing professional letters. The letters are written in such a way that it looks like it came right off your desk. Like you signed them, like you wrote them, like you folded, stuffed them, and sealed them. But we do all the work. Number 3 is phone follow-up. This is not telemarketing. There is no such thing as a tar sale or the sale on air conditioning repair. I mean, if the air conditioner is not broken, nobody calls up a service company to fix it. And finally, the service is lead generation, appointment generation, getting appointments with the right guy, the guy the contractor wants. Let me get more specific about each of these services. Let me talk about my database just for a moment. My database consists of a whole series of very unique data. Name of the company, type of company that occupies the building, size of the building, age of the building, its longitude, its latitude, its square footage, who's the president of the company, who's the decision maker for the business, who's the decision maker for the building. Maybe the property manager, not the occupant of the building, or vice versa. When was the last time we mailed them? Is it time to mail them again? When was the last time we called them? This is all on this rather complex screen that you're looking at. The second thing we have after data is this letter writing business. Well, let's take a look at some of these letters. Here's a letter that was done for a roofer in South Jersey. You'll notice it has a commemorative stamp on it. You'll notice it's properly punctuated. You notice it's from the owner of the firm himself. Also, the letter is hand-signed. Here's another letter. It's from the owner of a heating and air conditioning company. Again, it's hand-signed, and it says a lot about the company. This third one, it's from a paving company outside of Atlanta. Again, hand-signed, done with very high quality. Again, using a commemorative stamp. Here's the fourth one. This particular letter is from one of the leading roofers in the state of Wisconsin. He wants to make a point that no matter how tough a building requires work, he can do the work. And the last one is from the leading roofing contractor in Tampa, Florida, Mike McEnany. Mike is a class act. His letter comes across as a class act. The next service I mentioned is our phone service. Now you can tell from these photographs that you're looking at, the people I have working for me, these are not kids. This is not a rah-rah nonsense group of people. These are very serious women who come across in a very professional fashion. They're not telemarketers. They are phone follow-up people. Some of the properties that we successfully seek for our clients are office complexes, hotels, nursing homes, shopping centers, manufacturing facilities, supply houses, hospitals, churches, and private schools. Finally, let me show you samples of some of our leads. Here's a lead for a paving company. It's to repave 200,000 square feet outside of Atlanta. Here's another one where JCPenney requires 800 parking spaces, have to be redone. This one is for the chain of Acme stores. It has to do with a roofer needs to call this Acme right away because he has several different problems and he requires several buildings to be inspected and several repaired. This one is a nursing home. It's outside of Voorhees, New Jersey, and the nursing home leaks. And let's face it, you can't have a nursing home leaking. Here's a lead that's the Clorox company down in Tampa, Florida. They have a huge facility, and they have huge water problems. This one is another one in St. Petersburg. It's a nursing home. Here's one that's a grocery store chain. Again, serious water problems, serious water damage. Here's the Ryerson Steel Plant in Milwaukee, 200,000 square feet. Right now they're scanning the building with thermoscan devices to find out where it's leaking. And as soon as they can determine the need of the building, they very much want this roofer to come by and quote the work. Here again is for the fellow in Milwaukee. It's for the Marriott, just outside of the city. Here's an appointment that I got, which is a college, Philadelphia College of the Bible. They are very unhappy with their service provider, and they are seriously considering making a change. This particular appointment is for a series of apartments, just again right outside of Philadelphia. Again, the problem is they're very unhappy with their service provider. We're in the detail business, little details. Besides just the stamps and making sure we have the right person, making sure we're writing to the right people, we have to make sure that the client is really happy with the work. We do not want long-term contracts. We want a month-to-month relationship with a key, high-quality contractor. If the contractor, whether it be a paving contractor or a roofing contractor or a heating and air conditioning contractor, if he's not a class act and doesn't do excellent work, we really want nothing to do with him. And if we're not a class act, you should have nothing to do with us. I really thank you for considering our services, and if you'd like to know more or meet me personally, I really hope you'll give me a call, because we really can build your business, and we can build the margins and the profits of your business. Thank you very much.